All right, if you just joined us, it's still Journalist Hangout, and I'm still hanging out with Tunde Abaton and Kaide Ladende. Let the conversation continue. As threats of flooding continues to put Nigeria on edge, the need for vigilance cannot be overemphasized. As such, the federal government has alerted the citizenry of the release of water from Lagco Dam in Cameroon, which could potentially trigger flooding in several states along the Benue River. Starting from the 17th of September, the controlled release of the water is expected to increase, potentially reaching a flow of 1,000 cubic meters per second within a week. Though the Nigerian Hydrological Services Agency assured that there is no immediate cause for alarm, people living in coastal communities are advised to stay alert and prepare for potential flooding. Meanwhile, a delegation from the House of Representatives has visited Borno State to sympathize with residents affected by the recent flooding. The lawmakers donated 100 million naira to provide succor for them. Tunde, flood alert. Lagco Dam in Cameroon has released water. Are we prepared for the aftermath?
The thing is that the dam...
And also, what are we likely to see in the coming days?
Well, the dam has been there for a very long time.
Yes.
And the problem is that this thing is about... So far, it is beyond the borders of Nigeria. The dam has been there for them. So in as much as we're also talking of the fact that Kanji Dam too is also strategic to Nigeria Republic. So far, we know all these things. There has to be... We always like to be caught napping. Caught napping in the sense that this thing could be avoided. And if it happens, it could be mitigated. What was the relationship between those people who are manning our meteorological services, the people manning Nigerian interior, and the next country that is about to release water? Okay, because you know that the thing is flowing down here. What relationship do we maintain? Thinking that, do they just wake up one day and release that water? Because there's no reason.
Like they must have alerted us.
They must have alerted people for a very long time, and we take actions towards mitigating it. Even
did we just hear this alert this week? That they were going to release this water?
No. It has been there for a very long time. It has been there. But the thing is that we always allow things to get us napping. At the end of the day, it appears we are not serious. Because this thing that has happened now, has happened before. And God forbid that it may happen again. And so far, the meteorology warned Nigeria this year there's going to be heavy rainfall. And for even where I live at near Ogun State, they have Iju water, all the water you drink here, and Victoria is from that area. Whenever they want to release water, there will be a warning. Lagos State Water Commission will warn that because there's a river there, that they are about to release water. So people will take precautions. But the thing is that why I'm surprised is that what happens to the relationship between Nigeria and those countries that are releasing this thing? How are we managing it? Because this thing is preventable. Can you imagine how many lives have been lost? At the last count, 3,000 people must have died. And look at the loss to life, look at the loss to human nature, look at the loss to cattle, livestock, every other thing. So I am more concerned about taking premeditative action instead of allowing the thing to happen. Because when it happens, you cannot stop it. And there is no doubt, there is no sign that before the end of this year, bigger ones will not happen. So I think I will blame our maybe Department of Agriculture,
the authorities, right?
The authorities for not taking immediate action to avoid this thing. That
the
United Nations has to rush down here and give us $6 million.
Yeah. Taking immediate action, build more dams?
Yes, build more dams, and also how do we manage information? I think it's something that, I don't know, I don't want to exonerate myself. I think it's a very terrible culture in this part where we just say it, prevention is better than cure. It has become a cliche. But what do we do to prevent this thing? Imagine how much donation has been made to take care, to cure, let me use that word, the damage that has been done. So why can't we devote such amount of money, either from philanthropies like that have given 2 billion, one that have given 1.5 billion, and all kinds, all lovely gestures, I must say. Why don't we do that? This is, I do not want to call it a natural disaster. Insuring your house is even much cheaper than insuring your cars. We don't know. People just say, God forbid, God forbid. Sure. God is not going to forbid. It's going to happen. But what do we do as a nation? What do we do, like you said, as a system, a culture to ensure that, hey, there's going to be a minimal damage when this thing happens. Okay. That's my worry. That's what I feel the professionals should come in. The professionals are likely to cry. They are likely to lament that they don't take us serious all the time. We'll read this alert and it ends on the pages of newspaper. I'm sure the reason why this one is becoming popular is because of what happened in Maiduguri.
Yes.
Otherwise, this would have just been talked in.
Yes.
As even
okay. Now, donations have been coming in left, right, center. Millions, billions, food, and all of it. Accountability and transparency comes to mind here. Will the monies and the food relief items get to those who because yesterday we talked about it that some fake flood victims infiltrated the IDP camps. But now, accountability and transparency, are you confident?
I would say it on national TV, on anywhere, that I'm confident in the governor of the state. Okay. He has demonstrated enough transparency and openness about the way he does things. But our worry is it going to be there for life? What about building a structure? What about building a consciousness that this has got to be accounted for naira, kobo for kobo? That these things will be used to rebuild people's houses. This will be used to set people up. People, just like the Yorubas will say, it should get better for these victims and the kind of attention and help they are getting. Some are even jealous that we've had worse situation than this. But why are people now taking it, seriously? Some have even turned it to a political issue. It does not matter. Let the money come and let the people get this money. So the Borno State government definitely is one of the fans of this program. So I believe that they can hear us, that they should maintain that, accountability nature that they've had. But we are more concerned about building a structure, irrespective of whether the governor is selfish or is selfless. There must be a structure in place to account for such money.
What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think, like you said, Professor Zulu, the governor of Borno State, has demonstrated a lot of somebody who has the capacity to govern any space. Because by the way he handled the COVID issue, by the way he handled the palliative, by the way he has been running the state, it shows
he has shown capacity
to handle any situation. But like you said, I think our problem is systemic. We don't build up a system that we accommodate a particular structure. Whenever that something is wrong, that system will take care of that structure. So I am sure that the man must have in mind leaving a legacy that somebody will take over from me will not pay. But that is not the issue. The issue is some people will be somewhere now thinking about, say, they have donated 5 billion. How do I make my own 1 billion out of it? How do I make my own 500 million out of it? So we have to know that this is not a child's play. And that money is not even supposed to be given out like that. It's supposed to be used to take care of a lot of things.
A lot of
things, like you said, dams, like a lot of preventing a lot of things from happening. Because should it happen in 2 years or 3 years' time, it will be viewed all over the world as a people that are not serious. So let us begin to build capacity at every level of governance, be the local government, be the state government, and so that things like this will not happen again. So the people that are in charge of building dams, of constructing roads, or building structures that will prevent the effect of this from happening, they will be responsible enough to do what they are supposed to do. Because I know that every Nigerian knows what he's supposed to do, but because of personal greed, because of selfishness, that is why all this is happening. If Zulu can stand out among God, everybody commend the man. Everywhere you go, that man is different. What happens to our other governors we have in Nigeria? In fact, the shoe of the man is likely to become so big that the person that will step into it must be somebody that has been from the system. So I think that there should be a system in place. Nigerians should generally see ourselves as our brother's keeper. We should not be so greedy as to want to use the system, taking advantage of the problem we have to enrich themselves. Because about personal enrichment are the rest of the people who are suffering. So I think the federal government too, they are talking about a Borno Relief Fund. Wait, are we expecting that such a thing will continue to happen? No, there should be a relief fund. But why not taking steps to make sure that it doesn't happen?
Now, talk about taking steps. I asked him earlier, should more dams be built then?
Not only dams be built, we have to have more irrigation system all over the place so that it can absorb a lot of things. If you cannot prevent Cameroon from releasing water from their territory and that will flow down here, we have to have something that will push it back, because the interest of the country is very, very important.
What do you mean? What do you mean push it back? Push it back to Cameroon?
No, not push it back, to absorb that particular thing.
Okay, to absorb.
To absorb it. We have to have something that will absorb it so that we can avoid spending our resources. These are not the best of time in Nigeria. Money that is supposed to be spent on building schools, on building hospitals, we are now using it to take care. Mind you, what happened now, the effect will still be there in the next 5 years on some families. Some people will
especially most of the houses.
Most of the houses.
The integrity of those structures.
Yes.
They might come
no amount of money that is donated.
It's like building a new city.
A new city entirely. So let us take care of the system. Let us have enough structure in place that I will make sure that whatever happens in the future, we will not have so much impact. So people will not look at us as some serious people.
All right, let's move straight to